Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David J. in for Dustin Kleeman. A grass fire burned along the Billings Rims shortly before noon today. That fire stretched roughly 100 yards north of Park Place and North 16th Street below Swords Park, but grew to about 200 yards. Firefighters worked to stop it spread as flames caught brush on the east and west ends of the fire. Crews are still on scene, but it appears most of the fire has been extinguished. No word on what caused the blaze. Yellowstone County remains under burn ban, meaning no open fire pits are allowed as conditions remain dry in the area. Now, Rob Griggs is joining us now. Some weather causing maybe some more risk for us out there.
Sure is. I mean, August is obviously going to finish off dry. We know that, but it's also going to finish off hot. And so the fire conditions really are still in that place where things can happen rather quickly. We need to be kind of careful. I got a great picture this morning I thought I'd show you, David. This came from Sheila Draper. Check it out. These are these altocumulus clouds. Aren't those pretty? And, you know, the smoke was starting to clear out nicely. So when she snapped that picture, shared it on our Q2 Facebook page, it was sort of a harbinger of the end of the clouds, and now skies have cleared up nicely. How about air quality across the state? One of the trouble areas right now continues to be Seeley Lake up there in western Montana, but aside from Butte, that still has some unhealthy air there in the region, most everywhere else starting to clear out kind of nicely. The winds are shifting, but as we mentioned before, conditions with low relative humidity, hot temperatures, and really no precipitation in the forecast. We've got to keep an eye on fire things, and I'm going to be live later on tonight for the Billings Clinic Classic. That's why I'm dressed comfortably. But anyway, I'll have the complete forecast for you and all the details in just a minute. David?
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Rob. An early morning house fire on the Billings West End caused significant damage. Home on Goldstrike Drive south of the Rimrock Mall sustained heavy fire damage and smoke damage. That fire is under investigation, but it caused $50,000 in damages. Neither the property nor the contents were insured, and no one was injured. This weekend, Billings City Council candidates are participating in forums for the upcoming primary elections. 3 forums today for Ward 2, Ward 4, and Ward 5 at Castle Rock and Veterans Parks. Q2's Dustin Kleeman asked the candidates questions that were submitted by the public. People wanted to know about each candidate's vision for the future of Billings and what the candidates would bring to the council. 21 candidates, including 6 for mayor, are vying for positions in city government. Those in attendance are still asking if candidates support a non-discrimination ordinance for Billings.
I wish that you could just make people like other people and accept other people, but you can't do that. It just doesn't work. You can pass all the ordinances and rules and laws that you want. People that don't like other people are not going to pay attention to that.
We would never have the Civil Rights Act if that were true. Communities reflect the belief system of the people that live there.
Tomorrow, Ward 3 candidates will speak at Central Park starting at 1. Ward 1 candidates will be at Pioneer Park starting at 5. And the public is encouraged to join the mayoral forum at Pioneer Park at 7 o'clock near the tennis courts. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, those who smiled for today's annual I Am Billings photo hope the image speaks volumes about kindness, hope, and acceptance in the Magic City. Dozens of people turned out at the South Park Pavilion this afternoon to take the annual photo. The picture is organized by Not in Our Town Billings, which is a nonprofit organization that promotes inclusive communities. The Not in Our Town board says the photo is just a way to push forward a vision of hate-free Billings.
This is us. We are Billings. We stand together with similar values. We are Not in Our Town, and we say we will not accept intolerance in our town, particularly with just everything happening around our nation and world right now. Just a sense of hope and unity.
Ortiz says the group hopes to incorporate law enforcement and firefighters into next year's photo. 63 classic and current European cars went on display in Veterans Park today. The 10th annual All Euro show is on display of vintage and contemporary European engineering. What began as just a German vehicle show has expanded to all vehicles built in Europe. BMW, Fiat, Lamborghini, VW, Alfa Romeo, and more vied for the best of show and people's choice. For many of the owners, there is something special about these cars.
Basically, a lot of the engineering, especially the German engineering, I mean, these cars are built to be driven for a long time. They're stable, they're sturdy, they're reliable, they're dependable, and they have so much class.
Back in the 70s, we drove what would now be a classic Mini Cooper, and I thought it was really something. And of course, all the advances of technology today with GPS and video screens in these cars, amazing what the changes are in cars, and yet they both have fun and value, I think.
All the proceeds go to the City College Scholarship. Over the past 10 years, more than $8,000 has been granted. And the importance of keeping yourself moving, especially as you age, and a link between sleep and dementia. Kenneth Craig has some of this week's top health stories.
A new study from Boston University finds people who spend less time in rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep, may be at increased risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Researchers did not find the same link with deep sleep. The more frail you are, the more important it is to keep moving. Doctors in Nova Scotia linked prolonged sitting to a higher risk of death in weak and frail adults. They say even getting around the house on a walker or cane can be highly beneficial. Cholesterol-lowering drugs used to reduce the risk of stroke may also protect against infectious diseases. Doctors at Duke University found statins help provide protection against typhoid fever, chlamydia, and malaria. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.